In this video, I'm going to show you how to add crop marks and bleed marks into your Illustrator files and also how to save them out for a PDF. Bleeds are usually 1/8 of an inch, so if you want to convert that into decimal, that's 1.25, and that's a good conversion to know because it's a general one. So 1/8 of an inch equals 1.25 in decimal, and then you can just use this and everything will be that way. All right, so this right here, the red, will equal the bleed. All right, so I have my graphics in here, and you can see that they either line up or just a little bit over the bleed marks, which is fine because I'm not necessarily losing anything. I do want you to remember though that if it's between sort of the safe zone here and the bleed mark, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be trimmed that you can see it. So if you have any important information along the lines here, I would definitely scoot it in more. And with elements like this as well, I would go ahead and scoot that in. So there's a nice and safe border around the edge there. Okay. And then if you want to, you can also add crop marks. And so with that, you'll need to make sure that whatever you want the crop marks to be on, it is selected. So if I have this whole thing selected, each of these would be crop marked, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to come up here because this is my biggest thing that I want it to bleed over. So I'm going to come up to Effects and then Crop Marks here. And you can see that that's where they're at right there. Okay, so I'm going to come to File, Save As. I'm going to make sure to save it as a PDF and go to Save. Now, these different things come up for me. So, here's General here. And for the presets, I would usually go high quality print, unless it's specified another way. You can go high quality print, you can go press quality. That's a popular one, especially with printers. But you can always talk to your printer about these things too, and they'll help you as well. So compression here, if anything needed to be a little bit smaller resolution to help with that, especially if you're file sharing across the internet, you can try these out and that will help you there. All right, and then for this, you'll want to use bleed document. So you can see here lightly that it's 1.25, 1/8 of an inch. And you can use all printer marks, or you can just figure out which ones you want. So I don't really need page information or color bars necessarily, but my trim marks or my crop marks are something I do want. So I'm going to turn off registration for now, but you have all those options for you. And then I'm going to go to Save Document. All right, so it's not going to change much in here, so I'm going to go find that on my desktop. And you can see here that again, I need my crop marks if I'm going to bleed something. If I, want it to be full bleed and have it come off the edge of the paper without any white around it, crop marks do need to be applied with bleed marks. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. You need both of them. And so these crop marks are reading where this bleed would be. And so this is where you would take your ruler and you go across here. But remember, you'd only cut till about here and here and here, because if you cut all the way across, you lose your mark for the other sides. So just little tricks of the trade. So if you were to cut this out yourself, you would almost have this big frame of paper, because you would have to give little spaces around for cutting. So that is how it is done in Illustrator.